machine. Try and get you a few looks at a few of the other guys. That's the 68 of Joshua Moyers. Theo Torres in the 72, right behind the 1. There's the 72. Him and Oscar Ramos rolled out right at the exact same time. It looked like we were looking at the wrong car. They had to help me with the pronunciation of the 46. That's Chad. Is it Higher?
Chad Higher.
Higher?
Yeah.
Higher. Thank you. Yeah. What if we're wrong? Tell us in the chat later. We'll figure it out. But number 46 there, the Days of Thunder Machine, City Chevrolet. There's Salvador Martinez in the 37 Hot Wheels machine. Fran Gomez in the 95. That's the 33 of Jeff Goodpaster in front of him. One of my former teammates. Matt Myers in the St. Louis Blues, number 5. Attaboy, Matt. We're not doing that great, but thanks for representing. There's the 0 of Linus Smith. Of course, we've seen the 71 of William Gregory. There's Drew Fast in the 74 Valvoline Ford. That's a good-looking ride right there. Mark Martin would be proud. That is pretty right there. The 94 of Sierra Cooper again, Noah Hogard again. I think it's about everybody that's out on track at the moment that you haven't seen. Obviously, we'll get the full field here momentarily once we get this show on the road. It looks like we're getting close to that, so we'll head to pit lane. Get ready for him to grid up here. Red flag is out. What's the weather like out there, Dale? It looks sunny.
Looks
somebody hit the catch fence to the tri-oval.
It wasn't really going to be a night race, but I think we switched up to being a day race. Which NR you can do that. There are some tracks, of course, day to night tracks, which will do the transition from day to night, which is always cool to watch as you race, and you kind of have to adapt like real drivers to the sun being in your face. Depending on which mods you run on NR, I know for me personally, there is a sun glare on the start finish straight that always hits me. So yeah, hopefully no other drivers running one of those.
All right. I guess they're lining up on the backstretch. They are. There they are. We're going to step aside for just a quick second to allow us to get on up the track, and we'll be right back. All right, we're coming right back. All right, welcome back to Fast 29. Fast Racing League Daytona 500. We're calling it the Daytona Speed Week 500. Some of us are calling it the Florida 500. We're just calling it, let's just have some fun with the first race of the season. How about that? All right. And there's the command given to the field. And let's get this thing going here. All right, here is your starting lineup for this one tonight. Keith Hughes gets the pole in the 82 alongside the 1 of Oscar Ramos Jr. I don't know why it just cleared on me. That was crazy. It just totally cleared out on me. The whole field thing. Oh, wow. It's going to be one of those nights.
One of those nights.
Yes, it is. Oh, goodness. Let's try it again. Let me trash it and bring it back in. Let's try that. They're probably going to take the green, and we're still trying to give this out. It's going to be one of those nights, folks. I apologize. All right. Let's see if we can do it now. There we go. Keith Hughes, Oscar Ramos. They're going to take another lap. Thank you. All right. So here we go. Row 2. Well, now I just hopped to row 10. This is going to be. Well, there's Sam Danger and Charles David. They are starting 19th and 20th. They just skipped to row 11 here. Sierra Cooper and James Moore in row 11. We'll get to row 2 and everything in a second. Mike Carroll and Theo Torres in row 12. Row 13 is Noah Hogard and Tim Goulet Jr. in the 39. Row 14 is James Hodge alongside William Gregory, fast in practice. Row 15 is James Johnston and Bryson Miller. The 17, not the 07. Bringing up the field is at the end of the field is Salvador Martinez in the 37, row 16. Now we're going to see row 2. Yeah, I told you. Here we go. Dunn LaPrade in the 47 alongside Randall Coleman. In row 3, it's Ryzen Baker, the rookie aggressive behavior guy, alongside Zach Rogers in the 6. Joshua Moyers in the 68 alongside Nate Balzer in the 79. Row 5 is the 0 of Linus Smith and the 93 of Jovan Anderson. Row 6 is Tyler Stallhood and the 33 of Jeffrey Goodpasture. Row 7 is Matt Myers and the 81 of Santiago Gutierrez. Row 8 goes to Drew Fast and Ken Squires. And row 9, Fran Gomez and Robert Cubat. And you saw the rest of the field. We're not going to show it to you again. All right. Toyota Camry pace car and Keith Hughes trying to turn it around here in turn 3 and 4. You excited for this one, Dale?
Always. Daytona is always a good race. So yeah, hopefully this will be fun.
I'm showing this as a 70 lap race. Is that what we've got tonight?
70 laps tonight.
I'll have to change that because I have it down as 80. We'll fix that later. All right, pace car dives off into the pit lane. Keith Hughes brings him down. Green flag in the air. We're racing at Daytona.
Amazing start. That number 1 of Oscar Ramos was kind of late on the start a bit. Don't know if he's having any technical issues with his setup, but that was a slow start as he forces another car down low and a bit of a backup on that high side.
And that was Joshua Moyers that he kind of chopped down in front of to get into the bottom lane there going into 1. That brings Dunn LaPlade in a second place in the 47. They come down the backstretch for the first time. First 9 or 10 cars single out. And lap 1 in the books goes to Keith Hughes.
I don't know what happened to Oscar back there, but that was a really embarrassing start.
Weird start there, yeah.
As we got a car.
That's the 90. That's the 93 of Jovan Anderson. He pitted on the parade lap. I don't know if he had a controller issue or what, but the Amoco machine coming out the pit lane there, and now he's a lap down early. Like I said, we'll fix this on the fly here, so just bear with me for just a second while I change how many laps this thing is. Not 701, 70. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, we good.
And if you're watching our companion stream, we're currently on board with Oscar Ramos as well.
Outside line trying to get a little bit formed up there. That's Matt Myers in the 5. Randall Coleman in the 9 back there as well, trying to get a little group going there on the high side.
Yeah, you got Zach Rogers right behind them as well. And
Ramos comes up to grab him in front of him.
But that 3-car push right there between Ryzen, Dunn, and Keith is still leading the laps right now.
And look at this outside line. They've got a good run off the tri-oval. Ramos going to pull alongside of Hughes going into 1. So much for that single file early. They're back to just like they were on the parade lap.
Yeah, that bottom line seems like they can't get it together. They keep squirreling in and out, killing the draft a bit. And NR is like an older game. It's not as robust as iRacing, but that drafting physics calculations is pretty accurate.
Trouble. Got a yellow out. They are slowing down for the caution. We'll see if we can find exactly what happened. First caution, lap 4. Oh, somebody gets off in the grass to the trial. Well, that's Moyers coming to the line. Oh, what a save there. That's coming to the caution. All right, let's go back and take a look to see what happened to bring out this caution. Tape producers trying to find exactly what happens here.
This is the magic of us having 2 screens, so that way,
Yeah.
we could put up on our companion screen and still keep track of what's going on track while I'm following leaders right there.
Looks like it. Okay, we just found it. Looks like coming off turn 2, it looks like Noah Hogard has a problem. Not for sure exactly what it was, but coming off of turn 2, he dives to the apron, and I don't know if he missed a shift or the motor blew up or what, but he went off pace off of turn 2 and parked it on the back straightaway.
Yeah,
so the Hamburger Helper Camry is done for the evening, it looks like.
Yeah, according to NR, he had a clutch failure. Both him and RJ Bishop. RJ Bishop actually officially retired as well. So currently your lap down cars are Jovan Anderson and William Gregory. So
Crazy to have that happen right on the start like that. As everybody comes in for a pit stop early here, get some fuel in these things. A few guys have stayed out, but the leaders have pitted. That's Keith Hughes coming in. They're all pretty much taking fuel only here. Ramos comes out the pit lane first, just barely edging out Hughes. We'll reset the order after pit stops here after they come back around. But right now, Linus Smith is shown as the leader. He did stay out in the 0. There he is behind the pace car. 79 of Nate Balzer sitting in second, I believe. Yeah, he stayed out. 94 of Sierra Cooper is third. Mike Carroll sitting in fourth. James Johnston in the 42 fifth. William Gregory sixth. I believe he was the last one to not it. Then there's Ramos, Hughes, LaPrade, and Myers.
yeah, one of the bigger gainers out of that whole confusion was James Johnston in the 24. Currently right now riding in 23rd position. So between that accident and also that pits, and then you gain positions in the pits. So really advantageous for him as well.
I believe we did have a penalty on the 71 of William Gregory. He was dropping back as they double up for this restart.
Yeah. Most likely speeding off a pit.
It looks like Ramos, too, also has a penalty as well. He's dropping back. He was the first one off the pit lane. He must have been going a little bit too fast. There's Gregory. This is a break for Ricky J. Jovan Anderson. I believe that might have given him, you have to remind me, I'm not for sure if that's what the rules are with this particular league, but do they have the lucky dog in this, Dale?
No, you can't. You do get it back lap down if you get a wave around, but I guess in this position, Oscar just has to take the L. William Gregory, I'm not sure what will happen to him. I think Sebastian Diaz is also a lap down, but he's pitting as well. But Mike Carroll and also Bryson Miller have black flags as well, so those will be cleared out real quick once admins get to it. Yeah, tough break for Oscar, but he is gaining back up as you see. Sal kind of gives him way in the back of the field. Sal is a regular driver, but he's having wheel issues, so he's currently on a controller. So he will acquiesce and avoid causing collisions by getting out of the way for a lot of drivers.
Green flag came back out on lap 7 as we were kind of trying to figure out all the penalties there. Linus Smith brought us back to green. In the 0, you got Mike Earl side by side with the 94 of Sierra Cooper back into turn 1. And Cooper's going to try and get a run on the outside with Hughes and Myers. They pull alongside Smith, trying to get out on the backstretch. Smith almost slid up into the middle, but drops back down in front of Carroll to cover that position. And we're back to the 195-mile-an-hour pace lap. Cooper clears him, drops down in front of the trouble behind him. Coleman, Squire's involved. Multiple cars. The 33 goes up in the air. Good pasture. The 95 hits the outside wall. Caution back out.
Man, this looks like
Gutierrez in the 81. Oh, goodness. A lot of big drivers, big names in that one. Anderson involved. Fran Gomez in the 95. There was a 33. James Johnston in the 42. Charles David in the grass.
Yeah, that incident looks a lot like, what happened a lot in the Xfinity race, a car in front going slower. Like, it looks like that Randall just got pushed in the back a little bit too hard, kind of not being at the speed as the cars behind him, and he just got turned and got loose.
Let's take a look at it. Here is Coleman. Oh, the 42 just takes off to the right. Takes the 33 with him. The 81. There's with the big impacts there. There's another red car back there as well getting airborne. That's the 88 of Sam Danger. Wow, James Hodge somehow gets through that on the bottom. 46 gets by. So we can get a different angle here and see if we get another idea of how this actually takes place here. There's going to be a good angle looking back turn 3 here. There's the black car just slides up. I don't know if he had a flat tire or the controller just went out or something, but it just took off to the right there. There's Charles David spinning around, the 81, the 88. Look at this down the bottom. 72 gets in the side of the 95 toward the top left of your screen there, and James Hodge sneaks through. Anderson gets down in the grass. A lot of good cars involved in this one.
Yeah. That's the thing with plate tracks. Some guys decide, I'm going to take it slow. I'm going to hang back. Some guys, want to be dominant and run up front. But with plate racing, you could never tell. Leaders might push too much, being too aggressive and cause an accident, or an accident might happen far back. It's always the 50-50 chance, but some people feel if I'm fast enough, I'm up front, I can avoid everything. Sometimes if you feel like, okay, I'm going to hang back, stay in the back, and that way I can break up and slow down and avoid wrecks. And the advantage to that is if there's a caution, I don't really lose. I gain, avoiding everything. So
the onboard of James Hodge there did a great job of avoiding that, getting down the apron.
Linus Smith currently still out, has not pit yet. So now he's led 4 laps. He's after that whole pit cycle that just started. Sierra kind of lost the lead. Did lead 1 lap. But yeah. We've got a lot of cars retired. James Johnson's now out. The number is 71.
That had to have been a controller failure.
Yeah.
There's no reason that car should have just taken off like that. I don't think so, which is unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but yeah, go ahead and finish that up. You don't mind.
William Gregory now is 1 lap down. Of course, Alex Moe in that accident, he's still on pit road, a lap down. James Johnson, of course, just retired, probably a controller failure. Sebastian Diaz is still running, just running 2 laps down. Noah, of course, with the engine failure. Same thing with Bishop. Tate Dorsey is had connection issues, currently 7 laps down. Hopefully he can get those laps back. He is still running as well.
Yeah, we saw the 3 still sitting on the pit lane there when the race started. So, gonna go 1 more lap here, it looks like, before we go green. They thought they were gonna go. There it goes. Now the lights went off. So I guess they went quick yellow there.
Yeah.
Well, not quick yellow, but they took a lap off of that. So, you knew what I meant.
I'm looking to see probably a good start by Keith Hughes on the high side. Linus Smith's on his end on the inside. Unsure of how Linus works this, draft and gets the lead, but he does have Zach Rogers behind him. Zach Rogers will push. If Zach sees a chance to get the lead or get to the front, he will push everybody either in his way or forward so he can get by them. So yeah, he's probably playing a numbers game in his head. It's like, how much do I push this guy so I can at least get past him and also get past Keith as well?
Yeah, Zach is a very tough competitor. I've raced against him a few times and lower level series, and he's a fun guy to race with, but he's very good. He's very aggressive when he needs to be, not overly so, but he's definitely one to keep an eye on tonight.
Yeah.
That Liquid Death number 6 there. I feel like that 6 should be on the 74's car. Right there. He's actually behind him. Look at that. I didn't even realize that.
The Roush
Valvoline car right behind. Yes, that it just doesn't look right. Smith and Hughes front row. Got Rogers and LaPrade. Row 2. I gotta find out what's on that 47 car. That thing is
Bryson. I think it's Win.
No, the one in front of it. That's Dun LaPrade, and the 47 in front of
it's
Win.
Some kind of brewery company. I remember.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a brewery company.
It kind of has. It kind of looks like Richard Petty, but then it doesn't from the side. So I don't know. We'll figure that out later. As they come to green, lap 12. Linus Smith brings them back to green here at Daytona.
And Keith Hughes getting pushed from Dunn in the back as Ryzen Baker jumps up to the middle or high side right there.
Rogers going to push Smith out to the lead. Now he's looking to the outside. He's trying to get in front of Hughes. Not quite clear. Now he's kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah,
he's going to drop back 3 wide. I saw what Rogers wanted to do, but he didn't quite clear Hughes. He's stuck in the sucker hole down in 3 and 4. Baker thinking about going with him in the middle. Oh, excuse me, that's Miller. I'm sorry, in the 17. Now he's going to jump to the outside. That's Baker to the inside of Rogers in the 77. They kind of look similar there.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of cars back behind him are trying to make a middle line. They're kind of unsure. It's inconsistent.
Oh, trouble, turn 1. Around goes the 39, 94 involved. Hodge got a piece of that one. 95 again. There's Ramos spinning in turn 1. Charles David. Caution back out again, lap 13. I kind of saw that happen in there. The iRacing machine got turned sideways going into 1. And that was all she wrote for about another handful of drivers there.
Yeah, that was always going to come in that situation. A lot of the drivers, once they saw, Keith stuck in the middle, some decided to try and create a faux middle line. Some didn't. So there was a lot of side-by-side jostling where drivers weren't lined up correctly. And that accordion is all the way back where you have a lot of drivers who are unfamiliar with navigating unconventional, lines.
There it is right there. The 94 of Cooper catches the left rear of the 39 of Tim Goulet. That's Sam Danger in the 86. The 88. 46 hits the wall. Then you see the contact back behind as everybody's trying to check up. So Hodge take a hard hit to the outside wall that time. I believe that's the 68, I think, snuck through that time. Kez Hiller in the 99 was involved. That's Sierra Cooper down the bottom. The 81 of Gutierrez again. The 36 in the grass.
I mean,
that's Diaz.
3 consecutive big ones?
Yeah, this has not been starting well for us here.
I mean, look, the only person I know who's not complaining right now is probably Linus Smith. So far he's like 8 laps thanks to these cautions, So he's having fun. He's like, guys, continue to wreck, destroy your cars, let me stay up front, because he has not pit yet. He's the only car who has yet to pit, actually. So he's enjoying himself.
Here's Chad Heyer's view of it. City Chevrolet machine. Just wrong place, wrong time for him.
as we got a race on pit road.
Yeah, Linus is pitting this time as we come back live. There we go. Just got a word from James Johnston. His game froze, and that's what caused the issue in the last caution. So we had a feeling it had to have been something not of his doing there, because I mean that thing just took off to the right. So it was either a controller issue or a game issue. So good to hear that that's what it was. It was something like that, and not something. It looked malicious when you just look at it, but
Yeah.
it almost looked like he had a tire go down. So glad to hear that it was something like that. I hate it for him. He was looking forward to a good run tonight. Had some folks watching for him tonight, and unfortunately, that kind of stuff happens with a 20-year-old game, 23-year-old game, whatever.
Yeah, it does suck. I remember one of my very first NR races. You know, it's at Daytona. You know, and my wheel just did not go. My car just went, and my car flipped over and over. Had zero control. It just thought, just gonna do what it wants to do. And it sucks, but you know, 20-year-old
It is so terrible when that happens to you, and you're just like, oh, what do I do? And you're just hoping that nobody else gets involved in it, and unfortunately, that's what happens. So, all right, after these pit stops, just regrouping here. Robert Cubat is now the leader in the 38 after Linus Smith pitted. Zach Rogers is in second. Now, this may be, I'm pretty sure Rogers didn't pit, so he may be taking the outside here. We'll have to double check that, but not a huge factor at the moment. They're probably going to race side by side for a while here. 79 is Nate Balzer, and he's on the bottom there alongside Dunn LaPrade. There's Tyler Stallhood in the 7 alongside Bryson Miller. Mike Carroll and Theo Torres in row 4 on this restart. And Tate Dorsey, he's back out there. He's several laps down, but he's up there in the front of the pack here in the 3 car, that Lucas machine on the bottom behind Carroll alongside Sierra Cooper, who apparently still has a running machine after being involved in the last couple, as Kubat takes the green flag here on lap 16.
That Colvin car is a 38. Yeah, Robert, Zach, and Nate and Dunn, your top 4 drivers currently are in that gaggle of cars that did not pit last time. So very advantageous for them.
You know, ooh, Carroll clipped the apron going into 1. Somehow held on to that machine back there. Everything's fine, but man, that was close. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over there, Dale. That I almost had a hernia. Well, a lot of these guys that got involved in that last wreck did not pit, and they're up here in the front. There's Sebastian Diaz in the 36, the Kellogg's machine there. He missed that last one right up here in the front now, didn't pit. As this outside line tries to get formed back up again, that was Bryson Miller taking a peek to the outside, thought better of it, ducked back in. But LaPrade stays on the outside.
Yeah, Sebastian.
And they go 3 wide again. Man, Mike keeps on clipping that inside apron going into 1 there and just about slides in the outside lane there.
He might be having a bit of wheel issues, but yeah, hopefully it works out for him. But you know, Sebastian Diaz is that first car, you know, down in the lead lap, so he's trying to work his way back up front, potentially get the lap back.
Yeah. Myers splits the middle there in the 5, snuck underneath Hughes. I don't think Hughes was expecting that move. That St. Louis Blues machine trying to make a run for the front through the middle. He drops down back to the bottom, trying to get in front of Dorsey. Gets in behind Carroll. And Carroll clips the apron again. Maybe that's just the line he wants to run. We'll just stick with that for right now.
74 pushes the 81 up a bit. No contact though. Both drivers are safely through that corner.
Looks like everybody's kind of bailing out of the outside lane there now. Dorsey hops up there now, trying to pull a line.
Yeah, the high line will work, but you know, there are a few drivers who are unsure of it because they don't want to lose position. But if you get numbers and you get a run, they can catch up. But you know, that bottom line, people just get scared and are afraid to drop out. Once that instantaneous pace of catching up leaders doesn't happen, people get anxious and scared of losing their spots, so they just drop back down.
Now that outside line's got some good help out there now, but the problem is you got a car that's blinking leading it. So Oh, there goes LaPrade. He makes a big move to the outside, gets a good run with that outside lane into turn 3. Battle for 5th. And here comes Stallhood. He hops up to the outside. Now we'll see what kind of a run they can get through the tri-oval here. They had a good run before that last caution to the tri-oval. So that outside line can work if you get enough people up there and get a good enough push.
Got some cars on the bottom line wondering if they can get up and almost cause the accident and force it 3 wide, but both lines looking to be almost side by side, if not, the top line is what, 2 back, 1 back?
That side by side for 3rd with Rogers. Ooh, contact back in the back of the pack. They straighten it out. That kind of shook things out around Smith there in the 0. Close call there, entering 3.
Tyler, ooh.
Oh, is that Miller? Miller on the bottom there.
Saves
Not sure what happened there. Does save it. He's got to ease back into traffic here into 1. He finds a gap.
And everybody make it safely around him. Good driving.
Everybody's good.
Involved, yeah.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, out front, Stallhood. Big push from LaPrade down the back stretch. They're going to go side by side with Cubat in a 3.
Yeah, losing Bryson right there probably might have stalled that bottom line out a bit as, we have a blinker behind them, but that looks to be the 77 of Ryzen Baker drops from the high side and go down low. Yeah, that 3-car push on that high side is really catching up with them. They don't have the numbers, it looks like, on the high side because there's a lot of gaps. Mike Carroll's a bit behind. Oh, is that Matt Myers? And that 0-car of line is trying to push him.
That's Myers, Carroll, and Smith back there.
As Smith is between.
Smith looking in the middle. I wouldn't do that when you're blinking that much. He comes back in line.
Trying to force Ryzen down, or at least force the guy behind Ryzen to give him a bit of space, but that's risky.
Stallhood, I believe, led that last lap by a nose, I believe. We'll see what the scoring does. Yes, he did. That outside line is going. Now, if you're Stallhood, do you drop down in front of Cubat, or do you stay up high with LaPrade?
I mean, right now he has no choice as those cars up top hit the wall, but...
Goodness gracious, they got close, yes.
Yeah, Tyler right now does not have the room. He's almost just a car
clear
ahead, but how much momentum does he lose sliding down, though?
Cubat's back there. Yep, they're back side by side. The 3-car of Tate Dorsey, he is 7 laps down right now, just to catch back up on that. He had an issue at the game before the race started, so he had to start in the pit lane. So he's up there battling, but he's got a long way to go to catch back up.
Just a bit of patience. Hopefully, he gets more cautious. As long as he stays with the leaders, doesn't go an extra lap back down, racing with them, he could potentially get back on the lead lap.
Or he's just out there just having fun.
Yeah.
Knowing what kind of car he could have had. That's annoying.
But Tate is a bit competitive, though, so he might be a little jovial and playful, but he is actually a really competitive driver.
Oh, yeah.
As Chad Heyer
does
makes
a great
3 wide in the back. Wow.
Right up the middle there. You see it back there toward the middle of the pack, the green machine in the middle. And just to follow up with finishing up that deal with Dorsey, does a lot of work with the NR tracks to update them, make them look good for us, and definitely appreciate that extra help that he does for the community. As Smith comes up the middle, that's the 0 machine, the earlier leader. Oh, he forces his way back to the outside in front of Carroll there. About 5th in line on the outside. That was close.
As Ryzen
Baker pulls in behind him. And probably Mike Carroll's thinking, please don't hit me on either side right now.
Yeah, Mike is quiet, but you get him angry. I don't want to be in the driver's chat right now complaining about what Smith just pulled off right there.
Yeah, Carroll's kind of in the middle of a hornet's nest back here. You got Smith in front, who's been out front. wants to get back up there. You got Ryzen Baker behind him, and we know how aggressive he can be. So I'd be a little nervous if I was the 35 right now. Stallhood continues to edge out Kubat every time at the line. The bottom line is starting to lose some momentum here. Coleman jumps up to the outside. Smith tried to go to the middle. They almost swapped positions back there as Stallhood drops down to the bottom with LaPrade. That almost seemed like it was a planned move as they moved to the bottom at the same exact time.
Yeah, that bottom line just started to lose momentum as more and more people decided to join that top side. And lost
Which was a weird move because everybody started moving to the outside and the leaders dropped down. That's going to give him some more energy to the bottom here as Dorsey's going to lead the outside lane now. Now, if you're Keith Hughes sitting back there behind him, you know he's multiple laps down. Do you want to help him right now to help you, or do you want to get him out of the way?
I mean, if I'm Keith, I'm, using him as a tow. As however Tate or any lap down car can help me, I'm going to take it. But still be aware in mind that I also have a race to run as well.
I could see how that could be a distraction, though. You got that guy up there. You think you're racing him, but then you got to remember, no, he's multiple laps down. I'm not racing him.
I mean, for right now, it's okay. But
right now it's fine. Yeah.
10 laps to go, 20 laps to go. Like, look, you got to
get out of the way. Yeah, go away. And we're still only 28 laps into this deal right now. Right, inside line, getting real close to that double yellow line. Got some lappers here that are coming up on down the back stretch here shortly. That's good pasture, and I believe that's Sam Danger up there. Yep. Pack's going to try and sneak around. Oh, we got one in the wall behind him. That's Kubat diving low. He may have needed a pit. He stayed out.
It looks like he got a bad push, drop down.
If he wasn't pitting, he did a great job of slowing it down coming in the pit lane to avoid a wreck. And again, this is not a battle for the lead as the 3 pulls alongside of Stallhood on the outside. Again, that 3, if you're just joining us, he has several laps down after he had an issue before the race even started. But he's pulling Keith Hughes to the lead on the outside. And pit stops beginning. Trouble. Around goes. Oh, who was that? I couldn't tell. Great saves. Ken Squires in the 25. Saved it, kept going as a few of the leaders take pit stops on lap 29, coming to 30.
Yeah, at this point, a lot of the guys that didn't pit are now making green flag stops. So to dive down, you got to be able to play it safe. Some drivers are trying to, work their way down to that bottom line so they can pit safely.
And with the few of those guys diving out of the bottom lane, that allowed that outside lane to gain a lot of momentum, and that puts Keith Hughes back out front. Matt Myers sitting in second. As here comes another car, and that's Zach Rogers peeling off. He's going to be by himself coming in the pit lane. Linus Smith has worked his way back up to third in the 0 as Kubat's right here in front of the leaders that just came out of the pits. Boy, we got to figure out which way to go here as they go by Kubat.
Ooh, 3 wide with 2 cars on the apron.
Yeah, Miller down there coming out of the pits too. Oh, somebody just dove to the apron trying to get out of the way. Comes Dorsey looking outside. I think these guys may be thinking about pitting here as Dorsey jumped out in a weird spot. We'll see who dives off this time by.
I'm right now impressed with Matt Myers right now. Pushing the crap out of Keith Hughes right now as more cars dive down the pit lane. As Sierra Cooper, with a sudden retirement, was running in 12th. That 94 has retired out of nowhere. Don't know what would have caused it.
Well, Cooper had a couple of incidents. I don't know if something may have been internally problem there that cropped up or what, but 94 is out. That's so sudden. I don't even have that on my other screen yet.
Yeah, with what 38 laps left in this race, Alex Mo is currently the fastest driver. Well, the driver with the fastest lap.
Stallhood comes flying in the pit lane here. As the leaders start coming in, we'll have to see if he got it woed down enough. Smith comes in. Again, the lap car of Dorsey. There's Chad Hare. There's Drew Fast, Kez Hiller. Looks like all these are pretty well fuel only, it looks like. One guy was taking 2 tires there, it looked like. Stallhood's taking lefts at least. Smith taking rights at least.
Chad with a good pit stop exit. Can he get by the 99? Yes, he does.
There's that race off the pit lane. Go past the 74. There's the 0. They're going to get by him. Stallhood beats him out, but we'll have to see if he got it woed down enough to avoid a penalty. Mike Carroll coming in this time by. I think he's the only taker as we go back out front here. Here's Hughes. Got Myers. Coleman has worked his way back up to 3rd. I thought we saw some smoke back there going into 1. Dale, did you see that?
Looks like one of the drivers hit the grass to avoid.
Coming out of the pits?
Yeah.
That's that. Okay. I want to double check that, make sure we aren't seeing somebody blowing up or something there. Back out front.
Now these guys got to deal with lap traffic.
And they're looking to probably pit themselves here pretty shortly. See if maybe these dive off this time. Nobody in this pack yet, which these guys pitted about 5 laps later than those that we just saw pit. And now we have a wad of lap cars in front of the leader. As Hughes takes Myers to the outside, they're going to try and lap around Smith. Dorsey's still having some issues with that, with his connection there in the 3. Oh, he pulls up in front of the Hughes there. Carroll coming out of the pits there in the back. Now they're going to go 3 wide with the lap cars. Oh, my goodness, Keith. He drops back down to the bottom. He's just weaving his way through this traffic.
Currently on board at Ryzen Baker right now. A little bit of a checkup as he's, pushing, Keith, Matt, Randall, and Ryzen linked up.
And here come the leaders.
Ooh, Ryzen
oh, my goodness, that was close. Oh, hang on to it, guys. Stallhood did have a penalty. He's coming back in with these guys. So that 7 did not get woed up quickly enough.
This should get drivers like Robert, Dunn, Santee, Theo, Zach, Drew Fast, all those other drivers get back on the lead lap.
There's this front pack again. I believe the leader in this mess is Jovan Anderson in the 93. Ricky J.
Yeah, Jovan, is also one of the guys in our community you don't sleep on. If he's on the track, you've got to be prepared for a fight. It looks like this race he's decided to hang back a bit and bide his time as he dives down the pit lane right now.
Yeah, he had an issue in the first caution. He was involved with that one. Notice he wiggle wobbles it down in the pit lane. It's Alex Moe in the 48 behind him. They were the last 2 to pit.
Yeah, this would be, I think, Jovan's 6th pit for the race. Getting caught up in too many incidents.
This is Keith Hughes coming off the pit lane. He was scored 3rd last time by, so this should be the battle for the lead. You've got Joshua Moyers in the 68, Ryzen Baker in the 77, Randall Coleman closing up in the 9. There's Matt Myers a little bit further back trying to close up on them. So this will be the lead pack here once everything cycles back around.
Yeah, out of this lead pack, Keith, he's made 2 pit stops, doing minimal stuff, just doing fueling tires, behind him, Ryzen has only done for 3. And then after that, with 4 each would be Randall Coleman and Matt Myers.
So unfortunately, we can only get top 20 on our ticker for some reason. So that's all you're going to be able to see tonight. Limitations of NR. Sorry. The little side ticker just not working the way we want it to tonight. So we're trying to give you the look of how everybody came on and off pit road here. And this is going to cycle around now. So this should hand the lead back over to Keith Hughes once the timing and scoring catches back up here. They lap past the 79. There we go. Now it's updated. So Hughes is the leader. Moyer second, Baker third, Coleman fourth, Anderson fifth, Moe in sixth. And unfortunately, Matt Myers, he kind of lost the draft back there in the 5. He's just entering 3 back there. Alex Moe's starting to kind of fall off the back of the pack too. He may try to get back there with the 79 and the 5 and try and draft back up on these guys, but these guys have a very tight draft right now in the front. Turning some very fast laps as well.
Got Randall right behind him as well. These 4 cars up there, and then of course Drove and Anderson, who did zoom past with that 4-car draft, trying to catch up with the tail end of Randall's car to join that line.
So these guys pitted around lap 36, 37, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Yep. So at least one more pit stop, maybe 2. Depending on where if you're Keith Hughes, you might be pushing 2 if you're leading this much. Obviously, you'll burn more fuel in that Honda.
I mean, I'm guessing about 22 laps per pit stop for fuel. So probably about one more stop. Some of these other drivers, whenever you see a caution, just go down and get fuel. Even if you don't need it, just so when it comes late race situations like these, you're on the same pit cycle as everybody else. As Keith Hughes is our biggest leader of the race with a 12 laps led right now.
I finally got past Linus, huh?
Yeah, Linus is
about to come up on Stallhood. Now this pack 8. Behind them, Linus had 8. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now there is another pack that is formed up. Now you see Moe and the 79 back there of Balzer. They're trying to close up on this pack as expected. Matt Myers just cannot catch back up to them, so he's actually faded back to a second pack behind them. And they're trying to close the gap. They've got multiple cars with them. We're going to drop back and take a look at this pack. There it is, coming off of 4. This is 7th on back, led by Matt Myers. Got the lap car of Dorsey. Got Gutierrez in the 81, who's been involved in a couple of incidents tonight and somehow running good in that 81 still. That's Theo Torres in the 72. Robert Cubat. Oscar Ramos, the outside pole sitter. You got Dunn LaPrade, Zach Rogers, Linus Smith, Kez Hiller, and Chad Hayer back there. But and they got to stay single file in order to catch back up. But they're starting to get racy back here. This is 7th on back, about 3 seconds behind the leaders.
Yeah, some people, once they see that, those gaps drop lower and lower, get antsy and say, all right, cool, if I get by you and we catch leaders, I can pass them as well.
They do seem to still be closing up a little bit. We're kind of looking at the timing and scoring coming across the top of the screen there. This pack is definitely formed up. Yeah, it's about 3.4 seconds between packs right now. You got Stallhood kind of in the middle there, a lap down after that penalty for speeding on pit road.
Yeah, if I'm Tyler, Nate, Sebastian, even Sam Danger. I'm out there praying, hoping for another caution, so at least you get back on the lead lap.
That was Alex Moe blinked out. He's going to drop to the back of the pack here.
As Linus Smith is still high. I don't know if he realized Tyler is not on the lead lap, and he gets stuck and loses his spot.
There they are lapping past Stallhood. You see him on the outside there behind this pack.
Ooh,
wow. That's Gutierrez. Little warpy boy there. That is so unnerving to see in front of you when that happens.
Oh yeah, I've been the recipient of some warpy boys. I've given some people some warps.
You've been the warpy boy, yes.
I've received
Yeah,
more
don't
than
be
I've
so
given.
innocent, Dale. I know you. I've seen it.
I've received more than I give. Okay, I'm a giver. Okay. For some reason, Zach Rogers seems to like want to get the outside working, even though they're still trying to catch leaders, and he's losing positions up where he is.
Yeah, that pack is definitely starting to lose ground back there as they start to race against each other. And lapping past Stallhood didn't help either.
I mean, the only person I know is probably happy right now is Matt Myers as he leads the way. He's like, I'm getting pushed. I'm not pushing you. So, ooh,
And I'm corrected. Actually, that last time by, they've been maintaining between packs. So, but now the leaders again are starting to close up on some more lap traffic here.
yeah, Zach Rogers and Oscar Ramos, touch, trying to squeeze by that lap traffic right there.
We're going to pull up the side ticker here so that way you can make sure you can see that gap that's in between 6th and 7th is the gap between packs here, between the 48 and the 5. And the leaders trying to force their way through some lap traffic here. Goulet, I don't think, didn't know which way to go there in the 39. He drops to the bottom, lets the leaders take the top, but there was another car on the outside there. That's really going to slow this pack down. We'll see what the gap is this time by. It had increased almost 4 seconds. We'll see what it is this time.
Yeah, so trying to get the high side working at the second group, this lead group. Now that clock is ticking with only 23 laps left. I want to see, this lead pack of cars. Somebody in that group is going to get antsy and get impatient.
The guys they just lapped past have now fallen in line with them. That's going to speed this pack up even more, and that gap has grown now to just a little over 4 seconds.
Ooh, as Josh Moyers.
And we have a yellow out.
Bad timing for Ryzen Baker. Josh decided to, push Keith a little bit too much, and then Keith dropped down.
Robert Cubat slow on the front stretch here. Let's see if there was something involved there. And it was. Going to replay together. Oh, that second pack. A little bumper grab. And you'll see it here in just a second. This is in that second pack, right at the front of it.
Oof.
I don't know why my thing went like that, but there we go. Okay, so right here at the front of the pack, Dorsey gets a little loose off of 4, kind of like what we saw in the truck race, and around goes Gutierrez in the 81. And then secondary to this, Kubat gets turned into the outside wall off of Ramos. Rogers involved and almost turns over the 6. LaPrade in the 47 spins to the grass. They both come back. That's almost synchronized spinning there in front of the 6. And they make a little contact against each other.
Yeah, that's just a case of some guys just being a little bit too impatient. They see a gap and they first think, I gotta push this guy as well, Now 2 front runners earlier in the race are now, down on damage.
We're going to take a look at it from Cubat. There's the initial contact.
Lifts.
Yep, he lifted a little bit, and there's the contact from the right rear. Catches Rogers, then Prad's down on the bottom, had nowhere to go. And we go for a ride through the famous tri-oval at Daytona. And there's the secondary impact with LaPrade.
I just think probably Ramos was not paying attention as much as he should. As the leaders dive down the pit lane, which might be for the final time.
Okay, I don't know whether to take this information that we just got in the chat as serious or not, but apparently there is a 7-lap delay between Tim Goulet and his spotter, so he's driving basically without one.
Oof,
I don't know
rough.
if that's satire or if that's an actual thing, but that's from the 39. Do you want to say hi to everybody in the chat here? Sorry, Dale. Just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us here on Fast 29 as you watch the Fast Racing League first race of the season from Daytona. Whatever we want to call it, the Daytona Speed Weeks 500, the Florida 500. It's only 70 laps. It's not even really a 500, but you know what we mean.
Look,
we're here to have fun.
If I'm one of those guys, if I'm, Tim, there are plenty of guys who are still on the drivers, chat. Only 3 of them, it looks on my side, have left. He better reach out for somebody like, look, my spotter is delayed. I need someone to help me so I don't cause another wreck, It's one
of those times when you really wish you had iRacing and just have somebody hop in there and say, hey, I'm your spotter. What's up?
Yeah. Or,
that is fully, okay, it's fully serious. Yeah. I'm sure who, it's James Johnson. He just chimed in and said that he's listening in and it's delayed. So that, I have never heard of that happening. That's crazy. You ever heard anything like that, Dale?
Oh, no, I've never.
That's a new one.
That's a new one.
Again, this game is 22 years old, and we still figure out ways to break it.
Break it and build it back better. I mean, me personally, I've had issues where my spotter has just decided not to work.
Just to stop.
Just
yes,
stop
I've
talking,
heard that.
And
yes.
I've gotten in wrecks, but I think now I've gotten used to 9 times out of 10 not listening to my spotter, and I'm fine. But for those guys who are unfamiliar with that voice in the air telling car high, car low, and who don't really practice spatial awareness when they're on the track, it's really nerve-wracking not knowing where your move should be.
Yeah, Zach, if you're watching, Zach Bilson, if you're watching, when you don't talk, it's actually, yeah, I don't know what's going on. He spotted for me in a few of the ISRL events recently. Right here on Fast 29. You can go back and watch a few of those where I attempt to race.
Hey, look,
an attempt is made,
Let's make some good attempts, because guess what? ISRL, we are up next,
Yes.
Contender,
Daytona Speed Weeks has begun. The winter break is over for sim racing, and this is just the kickoff. The Truck Series for the Fast Racing League kicked off Thursday night at Daytona. And then this race tonight that you're watching, I believe Contender is racing Thursday night.
Contender is racing Tuesday night in ISRL.
Tuesday night, excuse me. The ISRL Contender Series, that's racing Tuesday night. Of course, we'll be finishing up the USRL Dash Series season on Tuesday night on iRacing. So we'll continue to broadcast that on Tuesday nights. Not for sure what we're going to do with the Contender Series quite yet, but we might show up and do a little racing in that. Maybe we'll see how I feel after getting done with the broadcasting with the USRL. And then next weekend kicks off the ISRL SNS series from Daytona on Saturday night. Yeah. And we're still up in the air on whether or not we're going to be up here in the booth or if our little Honda Civic's going to be out there racing with our teammates or not, Dale. So let's see how that goes.
Let's see how that goes. We might, still be streaming individually with our driver POVs on the track as well. So you'll still get to hear our voices and still hear our chatter as we talk strategy.
Yeah, because we'll actually be. This is the first season. Dale and I are going to be teammates along with Sam Danger and our team owner James Hodge. We're all on Tiberius Motorsports this year, so looking forward to seeing how these little Honda Civics run. All right, pace car. We're going back to green. Keith Hughes brings them down. Ryzen Baker alongside in second as we take the green on lap 51. Coming to 52.
Ryzen a bit impatient there, trying to get.
No. You don't say.
A bit.
We haven't really talked much about, but he's up there in second now as Alex Moe. He caught a lucky break with that caution. Had a good green flag pit stop, and he's right here in the hunt, right behind Keith Hughes.
Yeah, Ryzen is, played it fairly quiet most of the race.
Oh, we got 2 Warpy boys side by side. Did not like that on turn 4. I think that was Hiller and Ramos there off turn 4. it's bad enough when you got one. When you got two, it's really bad. And when they're side by side, it's seizure.
Look, at least the warp is, blinky. It's not the warp where they show up all across the track, fading in and out from the top. And
they're doing that by themselves now, Dale, as they come off turn two. Oof. We're getting racy. It's getting down to it here. 17 laps to go at Daytona, and they're getting 3 wide. Back down to 2 now. Speaking of James Hodge, there he is. He was involved in that earlier incident. I don't know how well that 86 is running right now, but he's in 11th on the outside. And again, this is allowed. We saw those breakups in those packs. That's all over with now. The pack is all formed back together, and here we are.
Ooh,
caution. Big wreck off the tri-oval. Mike Carroll. The 79 goes flying into the inside wall.
Hits it hard as they back off. Ooh.
I thought I saw Mike clip the apron going into the tri-oval right before this happened, but I'm going to wait until we see the replay. But it looked kind of like what we had talked about earlier, that 35 might have gotten a little too low that time and clipped somebody.
Yeah, bad timing for the drivers up front. Keith Hughes, Admiral, Ryzen Baker. I do think the two that are happy about that right now are probably Ryzen and Matt Myers. Ryzen's got a teammate behind him. And they're going to be side by side in the restart as well. Ooh, that's a rough wreck.
Yeah, the 35 was underneath the 79. He had a fender alongside, but it was pretty close. Got him in the left rear, turns him around. Hard impact for Balzer into the inside wall. Stallhood does a great job of avoiding. Honestly, we're lucky we didn't have more cars involved in that, to be honest with you. It was right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, we talked about James. He dropped down from, 11th to 14th now, avoiding all that stuff, Yeah,
this happened right behind him when this happened.
But that gives a chance. Dunn LaPrade, James Moore, Josh Moyers, Joven, Tyler all move up. Tyler right now is back on the lead lap as things shake out.
I need to go back a little bit further on that and see exactly when Mike got alongside of him there just to make sure that this is on board with Mike Carroll. 79 looks like he's going to the outside. He's there. The 79 starts coming down. Now you're out of room. Then he clips the apron. I mean, yeah, there was not really anything Mike could have done there. And then he gets clipped by the 07. And he goes in the spin cycle.
One too many, times hitting his tire on that apron. Especially if you have somebody pushing behind you. The warning we usually give at, Daytona and most super speedway races is, that tri-oval, that start-finish area. Unless it's straight like Talladega, or Atlanta, kind of don't push where you don't have room in that tri-oval to survive those pushes. And some people do. He probably got hit in the back when he was also hitting the apron and destabilized the car a bit too much. As we have 14 laps to go. Oof. Last time to pit for these drivers, if they decide to pit.
Yeah, they didn't pit and the lights are out. So these guys up here, this is going to be really close on fuel, I think, for a few of these guys up here.
I mean, if the NR theory is if it says a splash, you should be good. But once it gets
I never
down,
trusted that.
I mean, hey, it's worked for me. It has worked for me.
Well, goody for you, Dale.
Because my strategy 9 times out of 10 on these plate races is I don't push a lot. I keep that aero bubble, so I don't have to go full throttle a lot of time. Sometimes you also under these pace laps run 4th gear.
That's exactly what a lot of these drivers are doing up here as well. I'm kind of looking through the telemetry on a few of these guys, and about half of the top 10 are running in 4th right now. And you saw a few of them. Again, I don't know how much credence we can give to realism as far as them running on the flat in NR to try and save fuel, but I don't think that's really a thing. But we saw a few of them doing it in turn 1.
Yeah. I do think those RPMs are pretty more accurate to real life with 4th gear to save fuel. Though.
Now that part, yes, I'll give you that, but I don't know about the whole physics thing of riding on the apron, trying to keep the fuel from rolling away from the the pickup.
Well, this might be the last restart heading into 13.
It ain't gonna be the last restart. What are you talking about?
You got two teammates
Hughes.
side by side in the second row.
Here they go. Green flag. Alex Moe trying to stay with Keith Hughes. He doesn't have anybody right behind him. He got a little bit too good of a restart there. Matt Myers couldn't quite stay on his bumper.
Ryzen Baker right now says, look, I got to work with Keith to try and get these leaders. And hopefully, Matt Myers can somehow work his way back down and get behind him. But right now, I don't think that's going to happen as Zach Rogers is pushing that top row.
Hughes edges ahead on the bottom.
Goes up
he
high.
pulls up in front of Moe.
Ooh, car around.
Cool.
The 39.
Goulet upside down off turn 4.
Wow.
Caution back out.
Of Tim Goulet just went completely.
I told you it wasn't going to be the last restart.
Airborne.
Though. You never pay attention to me.
I probably jinxed them. I'm sorry.
You did. That's why I said that's not going to be the last restart. Somehow that 39's still rolling pretty good, too, after that great ride there. We kind of caught it late there as we go back and take a look at it. You kind of saw it at the top of the screen as it was happening.
Oof.
Little 3-wide action goes wrong here coming off turn 4. Here we go. That's Anderson in the 93 in the middle, Stallhood on the bottom, Goulet on the outside. I think Goulet was trying to get back in line there. He catches the 70. I'm sorry, is that the 72 on the bottom? But anyway, flips it over, lands flat on the roof, gets back on the wheels. Going to take another slight hit here from the 79. With 72, yeah, the 72 of Theo Torres also involved. A lot of damage to the right side of that Guinness machine.
That was a rough crash. Reminds me of shades of Cody, well, not Cody Ware, but Cody LaJoy last season.
Corey LaJoy, yeah.
Car just caught and flipped over.
Let's go on board with the iRacing machine. Yowza!
Lost our camera for a second there.
Did, yeah. Pancaked it right on them. I'm surprised it came back on, to be honest with you. Those Fast 29 cameras are pretty cheap.
We just slap a couple GoPros on the car call today.
I got some Logitech 720s. What are you talking about? We can't afford GoPros.
I mean, Gen 1 GoPros.
What kind of budget you think we got here?
We can't afford Gen 1 GoPros, my guy.
No.
Not even Gen 1. Those things like $25, bro.
I know. I got to work on it. We just got in the chat. Spotter will remember he has the spotter issue. Spotter will tell him he's on his lid in 7 laps. That's good. That's good from the chat there. That's awesome. Oh man. All right, another quickie yellow here. That was a fast yellow for somebody flipping.
Yeah.
So they're already double back up here. We'll be restarting with 11 laps to go. Yeah. I still don't think this is gonna be the last restart.
Yeah, they take this flag. It'll be 10 to go. So.
Yes.
Top 2 cars, Keith Hughes side by side with Alex Moe, Ryzen Baker in 3rd. Got Matt Myers, Ryzen's teammate, in 4th beside him. Hez 5th, Zach Rogers 6th. Oscar Ramos worked his way back up, 7th place. You got Chad Hayer in 8th, 9th Drew Fast, and 10th Linus Smith. Oh snap! Look who's in 11th place. Look who it is, Charles David, my boy, my man.
He's had a little bit of a issue early, but he's been steadily, quietly sneaking back up there in the 4 car.
Look, win or lose, if Charles gets a top 10, I'm going to be celebrating in this broadcast. I'm going to let you know right now. Okay, Charles is one of those guys.
He's got a chance at it.
Everybody in the community roots for to have a good race.
Those of you watching the real Daytona 500, congratulations. Do we need to spoil it, or do you want to wait?
I want to wait.
We'll wait. We'll tell you later. Here we go. Coming to 10 to go. Keith Hughes brings him down. I believe we're only, was this caution maybe 6? Somebody was asking in the chat.
7. Yeah, 7's cautions, yeah.
7 cautions. There you go. So whoever said double digits, we're not there yet, but we got some time. Here we go. Keith Hughes, Baker, they clear the field. Look who's sitting there in third out of nowhere is Kez Hiller. He had some issues earlier and back up there in third.
Getting that push.
Ramos in fourth. Yep. Mo and Myers trying to get a run on the outside. That's Rogers behind them.
That top side is just dead now. Wonder if Mo can squeeze down and get to the bottom line, and he does.
Well, now they just flip-flop lanes. Hiller tried to go to the outside, but that killed his momentum because Mo dropped to the bottom, and they basically just flip-flop positions.
Ooh, Matt Myers looking to take it 3 wide to get around Hez earlier.
Now, there ain't no way we're done wrecking here.
Oof.
Too many cars left up here.
Bunching up a bit on the top side. Matt and the 99 get to it. Matt goes to the low line, gets by him.
Got in front of David there. I don't think David's got enough oomph in that 4. He's been involved in a couple incidents. I don't think it's quite as good as he would like.
I mean, he's got, Robert right behind him. Robert is a really, as aggressive and dominant when it comes to winning races. Robert is a very giving driver, trying to give whatever push he can to Charles.
Eight laps to go at Daytona. Keith Hughes continues to lead. The aggressive Baker sitting in second. Oscar Ramos third, the outside pole sitter. Alex Moe is in fourth. Drew Fast sitting in fifth. He's about to get shuffled back as Myers comes below him. Being pushed by David.
Ooh.
Oh, almost some contact. There's Fast, tried to pull back down. Got to watch that double yellow line.
Yeah, Drew Fast kind of forced it there again, saying, hey, I know you're coming number 5, but look, I got to get back in line so I don't lose positions. But that might have helped the top side a bit as he switches back up.
Oh, man.
Trying to take any line he can. Desperation taking effect right there with those kind of moves right there.
Oh, goodness, they almost made contact. They're just swerving back and forth, trying to figure out which lane's going to get him to the front. Fast is just trying to block everything. He's about to get shuffled in the middle if he's not careful.
I know right now if I'm, Zach Rogers and I see Drew Fast doing those kind of moves, trying to block every line, I'm seeing red at the moment, and I'm going to force my way by you.
Rogers to the outside. No change in the top 5. This is the battle. 6th on back.
Shuffling in the back a bit.
He's alongside Myers. Outside line trying to get going. Rogers pretty much forced to help the 74 now.
Rogers might go low, though, and get behind Matt Myers.
I was about to say, there's a big gap there. Do you want to bail out? Now Myers comes in front of him. LaPrade drops down. Here comes Fast. He drops down below Myers. Rogers going to stay on the high side. 5 to go at Daytona.
I mean, if I'm Rogers, he knows if he gets Myers up there, he probably can push past, because once Myers goes side by side, odds are Baker is going to see it as a chance as the high side's moving and go and get in front of his teammate and get that high line is a little bit more speed.
Still no change with the top 4. Myers getting shuffled back on the outside. That outside line just doesn't have any push right now. They're going to have to get some help from the guys in front of us. Linus Smith has moved back up into 6th, that 0 car. Where did he come from?
That is
just all of a sudden appeared in 6th.
He is a man on a mission.
Yes, he is. Earlier leader. Couple more cars trying to jump to the outside. That's Moyers back there. He jumps to the outside. He's got Anderson with him. He's got Myers. They're going to try and get something going.
Yeah, right now.
Smith thinking about popping out. There he goes. They go to the outside.
With four to go, this is probably the most frustrating part of the race, because you
Fast
get that.
Blocks the contact there. Smith somehow hangs on to it.
looks like that high line is now forming up. This is probably the most frustrating part of the race. The laps are dying down. If they just get that high side working, they could pull side by side along leaders and make some moves. But some guys are just content with, oh, I want to ride that bottom line. I don't want to lose space as I switch and swap back up front.
Slicing and dicing late here at Daytona. Alex Moe switched to the high side. Fast drop back down to the bottom. Top 3 stay in line. Running out of laps. Does anybody have anything for Keith Hughes out front?
I mean, Ryzen Baker is a person in the best position. If he sees that high line moving, if anybody behind him lets him know, like, look, high side's moving, he's going to jump up.
Well, now's not the time. Oh, contact! Contact again. Somehow they hang on to it.
Wide.
Moyer's in the middle. Somehow held onto that car. He was inside of Zach Rogers off of 4.
That might be.
And they held on to his caution's out. And they're wrecking under the caution.
This might be close.
Big crash. Oh, Kez Hiller hits the inside wall hard. That was a hard crash for under caution here. Not for sure why the yellow came out. Nobody was sideways, really.
I don't know. Maybe they're going over that in the driver's room right now. But, some leagues say, they don't, do manual yellows. Some do race yellows. Some leagues don't, pace minus, which reduces the amount of pace loss from the pace car. If I'm Ryzen Baker, I'm praying, begging, pleading for a pace minus for that chance.
Unless there was a wreck back here behind him. Sorry, Dale. Maybe there was a wreck behind that initial deal. Now we're going back, taking a look, and it literally, the pace car just comes out. There was nothing really, unless somebody blew up or something. I'm not seeing anything.
Or maybe another admin.
Oh, there was a wreck. Way at the back of the field. Wow.
Which car was it?
This is in turn 1, half a lap behind the leaders. This is the reason for the caution. Sam Danger turns Tim Goulet Jr. around in turn 2. That brings out the yellow. And then after the yellow comes out, you saw the rest of it as it was happening. Going into turn 1 between Joshua Moyers and others. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say anything. Here's coming to the line. This caution's out. And it looked like Robert Kuback got turned down into Joshua Moyers. And you saw Kez Hiller go down the inside wall very hard. There you'll see the Safeway, or the freeway. Sorry, the freeway insurance machine. I don't know why I said Safeway. Maybe that's another one later.
Does Safeway still exist?
Maybe. We'll have to find out.
I think we're showing our age
question.
With those kind of questions.
Yeah, definitely so. Yes, absolutely. Let's not go there tonight. All right, so we have a yellow out down the back stretch.
The lights are still out.
Lights are still on. And I apologize, for some reason our caution light is not cooperating with us tonight. I'm not sure why it's doing this. Keeps on sliding around off the ticker there. But we are still yellow, and I'm not for sure if we're coming to the white.
I think we are. This is very apropos of the last, 3 races that happened at Daytona this weekend, outside of the Cup race. But yeah, it's, if I'm one of the cars up front, like I said this before, I said it again during, the truck race and Xfinity race, if the caution comes out, even if I haven't taken the white and it's a minor incident or so in the back of the field, and those cars can get clear in time and let the leaders race. But it looks
now,
like
here's my question. Let's go on board. This is on board with Keith Hughes. I want to see some fuel. Remember, he hasn't pitted. Can he make it one more lap? Now, are we coming? Is this the white flag here? Yes. White flag is out. This is it.
This is it.
This is it. So if they can make it back around, this will be the finish.
Keith Hughes with a dominant race, 41 laps led. Also taking advantage of the large amount of chaos that did happen in the field, though, for him to get this massive lead. Oscar Ramos, of course, started the second car up front in the first row, had an issue at the start, fought his way back up into that third place position. But Ryzen Baker stayed up there consistently almost the whole race. You know.
So do we want to spoil the real Daytona 500 now?
Yeah, might as well. Go ahead.
Okay, you're going to be nuts by this top 10. William Byron wins his second Daytona 500 in the row. Tyler Reddick comes home second. Jimmy Johnson finishes third.
Jimmy.
Chase Briscoe, the pole sitter, finishes fourth. John Hunter Nemechek, fifth. Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric. The JRM 40 finishes in ninth. And Chris Buescher rounds out the top 10. Michael McDowell with a great run in 11th. There's a few wrecks late. We talked about Ryan Priest going for a ride earlier. That's something you guys need to go back and watch if you haven't seen it yet. That was a ridiculous wreck.
After the race, Justin Allgaier had an Xfinity, him getting a top 10 finish for JRM. Yes. That JRM / Hendrick / Trackhouse car, made its way with a top 10 finish. Jimmy Johnson. Oof.
Jimmy Johnson finishing third. He got involved in one of those earlier wrecks too, and coming back to finish third. That's awesome for that team.
Not just him, but of course John Hunter Nemechek, 2 legacy cars up there.
Let's talk about this one real quick as they come to the line. This is the one we're actually here for. Keith Hughes wins the Daytona 500 in the Fast Racing League 2025 season. Ryzen Baker comes home in second. Oscar Ramos third. Drew Fast comes home in fourth. And Dunn LaPrade comes home in fifth in the 47.
If this was, F1, Keith might have been close to like the Grand Slam, qualifying on pole, winning the race. The only thing he didn't get was, the fastest lap that went to Alex Moe. But, Oscar Ramos, second place, had issues at the start, fought back, came third. Ryzen Baker stayed consistent all race up front, qualified fifth, finished second.
I got to hand it to Ryzen Baker. Very mature run for him in that 77. Didn't make any rash moves really at all. Was there at the end, had a shot at it.
Yeah.
As Keith Hughes spins the donuts in the tri-oval grass here at Daytona. We'll be back in just a minute with the full field rundown and hopefully hear from our top 3 finishers. Stay with us here on Fast 29.
As Keith gets hit as he
almost gets hit in the tri-oval there as he's spinning his donuts. We'll be right back. We're clear for a second here.
Baker on the.
You still got the Centos ad running right now, so you got a few more seconds here.
No problem.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Fast 29's coverage of the Florida 500 for the Fast Racing League season opener. Keith Hughes comes away with the win. Ryzen Baker finishes second. Oscar Ramos Jr. in third. Drew Fast finishes fourth, and Dud LaPrade fifth. There's top 15 on your screen. Did we get a word from our second place finisher, Ryzen Baker? We got him, Dale?
Moved
Yeah,
to your channel.
Bryson, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
There he is. He's a little quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Ryzen's usually never this quiet.
Should I yell?
Yeah, I was about to say he's never this quiet. All right, well, that works. Well, great run for you tonight. Very cautious, very methodical from you tonight. We've talked about how aggressive you've been in the past, but you showed some good maturity tonight. Tell us about that run tonight.
Oh, well, a lot of things. I went from almost dead last to second somehow. I started fifth. Managed to, keep it calm for the first couple times, and then probably the third or fourth restart, I pit for fuel, and we were 4 laps off. So we had only run 4 laps from the last caution, so I was like, screw it, I'll pit for fuel. And I fell all the way back to like 20th or something, and I was back there the entire time. Turns out that was the green flag run. So I was up there with a lot of those really good pushers, and we had excellent pit stops. So we were able to keep it and pull away from that second pack a lot until those cautions. So yeah, I just stayed behind Keith. Zach Rogers for always helping me out with my setups and stuff over at Fuel. I got all my friends, Robert, Charles, Noah, that goober, my teammates. Matt was here tonight. Dale and Chris for broadcasting this race tonight. Great race, and thanks for everyone coming out to Fast tonight to make an awesome race with just about a full field. So really entertaining to watch.
Yeah, we had a blast watching it up here. Well, congratulations on the second place finish tonight, Ryzen, and we will catch you at the next one, wherever it's at.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ryzen Baker, driver the number 77, comes home second tonight. All right, let's see if we can hear through any of the celebration and victory lane. Let's see if we can get a hold of the driver of the number 82, Keith Hughes. You got a copy?
I got you loud and clear.
How about that one, buddy? Tell us about it.
Oh, that was a fun one.
From where you were sitting, I guarantee it was.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we was going to get a good green flag run there to the end, and the leaders had kind of pulled away, and then the second group kind of wrecked themselves, and we had to rack it up again. I thought I wasn't going to make it to the end, to be honest.
How close were you on fuel at the end? We were kind of wondering.
Yeah.
Before the first caution came out, I was a half a lap to the good, and once that caution came out after we pit, I knew I was fine. But if it went green all the way, there's a chance I could have sputtered, but I don't think I would have.
Never mind on the drama, Dale. We weren't right.
I mean, look,
well.
Keith, he was one of the few drivers who did not pit a lot. Keith only made like 4 stops. So very methodical driving and fuel saving from him.
That's Keith Hughes. That's what happens. Yeah. Were you worried on that last run, that outside line getting to you, or do you think you had enough to hold them off?
The restart before last, I was talking to Ryzen about this in the waiting room. Whoever was in second was getting a good run, and I went up there to that line, and right at that moment, the caution came out. And I don't know if the caution doesn't come out, I think the race ends different because we're not allowed to block till 3 to go. So I went up there to take that line, and I think they could have maybe got around the bottom of me, and I couldn't have done anything about it. So I was just watching the lap ticker at the end until I got to 3 to go because I was waiting to get the block.
That was about when everybody started wrecking. It was about the
yeah.
Was 3 to go because I was like, I can't block. That's all I have to keep telling myself. I don't want to get in trouble for blocking too early.
3 for Dale. There it is.
There we go. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, Keith, you got sponsors. We're both all 3 of us here are Honda boys. You led 43 laps, dominating from opening flag to the bottom flag. You
makes us feel good, doesn't it, Dale?
I'm gonna take some of that win. We're somewhat Tiberius affiliated with you as well, Honda boys.
When one wins, we all
win. Yeah,
that's it. Feeling good. Well, tell us about those sponsors you got on that 82, Keith. Your floor is yours. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, let's thank Mountain Oxpill on the car, and especially that Honda power we had today. Honda gets it done. Waiting to see them get in the real NASCAR. That'll be fun if that ever happens.
Cool.
Thanks Mondays of Thunder. That's my main league. I race a bunch of places, but Mondays of Thunder is the main one. We race on Sundays just like tonight, and then also Mondays, believe it or not, since we're called Mondays of Thunder. You can look us up there and hope to join us. We race at Greenville tomorrow, another super speedway. That should be a lot of fun, and you don't have any racing things to do on Monday nights, we'd like to have you.
There it is.
I mean,
your shout out on that.
You're forgetting the biggest thing about Mondays of Thunder, guy. You guys were on an ARCA car this weekend.
That's right.
We were on an ARCA car, and his rear axle fell off right after restart.
That just seems that's just perfect.
He made it through all the wrecks, and then on one of the restarts, like something broke in the back end, he smacked the wall pretty hard right on the restart. Luckily, he wasn't going full speed. It probably hurt.
That would have.
But yeah, we were on ARCA car this week. We've been on we was on an Xfinity car last year. I can't remember who it was. It was a 35 car. And I think he got a top 10 that race too. I think it was Gase maybe was who we were on, and he got a top 10. So that one was more lucky. We have better luck in sponsoring Xfinity races than ARCA races.
Got to step up a little bit and pay a little bit more to get on that Xfinity car. It sounds like get a little better luck there. Well, congratulations on the win here tonight, Keith. Congratulations on that, and we will catch you at the next one, buddy.
All right, thanks y'all for broadcasting. We'll see you later.
Appreciate it, Keith. Keith Hughes, driver the number 82, wins it here tonight in the Fast Racing League Daytona season opener. We'll go ahead and scroll through the rest of the field here. We're going to do this kind of manually, so it looks kind of funky, but oh well. But Keith Hughes, your winner. Ryzen Baker second. Oscar Ramos Jr. in third. Drew Fast fourth. Dunn LaPrade finished in the top 5. There's the rest of the top 15 on your screen. We'll scroll down to where the 15th gets somewhat close to the top. We'll get it to about there. There you go. Down through 28th. Tyler Stallhood came back from that penalty, finished 18th on the lead lap. Randall Coleman, not quite the run he was probably looking for tonight, finishing in 17th. James Hodge avoided a couple things, then got caught up in a couple things, and he comes home 24th. Ken Squires with that spin into the pit lane cost him. He ended up a lap down 26th. And there's the rest of the field. Most of these guys not complete the full distance here tonight. For Tate Dorsey, we don't know how good that car would have been, that 3 car with that earlier issue. He finished 9 laps down in 30th. And a couple of these guys, I think Bishop didn't even start the race, unfortunately, with his issues.
Yeah, no, just complete disconnect.
Yep. So that's your full field rundown unofficially here from Daytona in the Fast Racing League. So, Dale, what'd you think?
I mean, good racing, top to bottom. At least we didn't have any, rain delays at our race, that kicked it off late.
We just had delays.
We just had delays. That's
we just had typical us delays.
That's NR things, Well, we got a lot of stuff to work to do hickey together. But yeah, good race. Just as entertaining, I think, as the real race was. Can't wait to watch that replay and watch Jimmy do his thing. Looking forward to Tuesday and Sunday night or Saturday night. It's our turn to put on a show, for you to watch on our views. But yeah, just to go over that again real quick as far as the schedule goes. So Tuesday night, Dale, you running the Contender Series on Tuesday night? I don't think I will. It depends. Okay. I'm also have to admin this ISRL as well, so we'll see how
That's right. You'll be with me. That's right. You'll be with me. No, that was a dumb question. Well, somebody will probably be running the that series that we know of. So just search around for those that run in the ISRL. They'll be running the Contender Series on Tuesday night from Daytona. We'll be broadcasting the USRL Dash Series race from Nashville that night. So tune into us here on Fast 29 for that one. Thursday night, I believe there's something going on, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. You have to help me, Dale. There's something Thursday night in there, or was it just Tuesday?
It's just Tuesday. ISRO's.
Never mind. I got my T's wrong. Saturday night though, that is when it's really going to kick in. The ISRL SNS series will be either up here in the booth or we will be behind the wheels of our Honda Civics trying to help out our other teammates from Daytona on Saturday night. That starts, I believe, at 8:45 my time, 9:45 Eastern, I believe is when we'll probably go live on that. Yeah. So we'll be looking forward to that. I think Dale will have his view up. I'll have my view up here on Fast 29. So definitely tune in and check us out and see how we do with our new Tiberius Motorsports teammates from Daytona. So that'll be a lot of fun.
USORL Winter Series as well.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
That's we're finishing that up. We'll be at Nashville Tuesday night for that. New Hampshire the following week, and then the finale. So we're almost done with that series on Tuesday nights. So getting close to finish on that. That's going to be a barn burner of a championship coming down to the wire with that bracket situation. So looking forward to all of that coming up here on Fast 29. So for Dale Barham, I'm Chris Pickett. Great race tonight here at Daytona. Keith Hughes is your winner in the Fast Racing League season opener. We will see you Tuesday night with the USRL series. For now, God bless you. We'll see you guys later. Take care.